The Toronto Raptors basically just walked all over the Lakers last night in a win that extended their streak to 4 straight games as they make their push to try and land the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference to get out of the play-in game. This win came from a combined group of efforts from the Raptors, who continue to show that they are going to be dangerous for any team to go up against in the playoffs. 6 Raptors were able to reach double-digit points. Siakam and Trent both had themselves fantastic nights, and Scottie Barnes is continuing to make his late season push to try and land the NBA's Rookie of the Year award that I personally think he can obtain, especially with his play as of late. The Raptors will be looking to extend their streak to 5 straight games as they play the Clippers next in LA, which would cap off one of the toughest stretches of the season as they're currently on a 6-game road stretch, yet they've been able to perform extremely well on this stretch, beating multiple great playoff teams along the way in the Suns and the Nuggets. This game last night from the jump was all Toronto Raptors as they asserted their dominance early and led by 24 points in the first quarter, and it was smooth sailing from that point on with a little late push from the Lakers, but they were able to handle that pressure. Also, only a small percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed, so if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind. Enjoy the video. Scottie was absolutely phenomenal before he got into foul trouble early, as in the first 18 minutes of the game, he already racked up 17 points on 8 for 11 shooting, and without these questionable calls against him, we could have witnessed a career night from him as he looked like a man amongst boys early on. He started the game shooting 6 for 6 from the field, and the Lakers had no answer for him as he had a clear size advantage in the post, and we even saw Barnes go toe-to-toe with one of the best to ever do it, as in the first quarter he caught the ball on the wing, sized up LeBron, took him into the post, and then dropped a hook over him, winning that battle. This displayed the boatloads of confidence this kid has, not afraid to match up against anybody, even if it is LeBron James, and try to get to his spot. He capped off the night, finishing the game with 21, 9, and 5, a steal and a block, and he shot 52.9% from the field, on top of getting assaulted from an absolute laser by LeBron trying to knock the ball off of him as he was laying on the ground defenseless. He just came off one of the best months of his career, taking home February's Rookie of the Month award, and he's definitely looking towards making that back-to-back awards for March, as him and Cade have both seemingly started to take their games to that next level as of late, so they will definitely be battling each other out for that. In Barnes' last 9, he showed everybody his potential on the floor and why he's going to be a future star in the NBA. He's been averaging nearly 20 points a night, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals a game, a block, and he shot 54.8% during that span, where we even saw him pull off 2 nights during these 9 games where he had 5 steals on the night, both offensively and defensively. As his role on this team continues to grow, Scottie is looking more and more like a complete offensive player that we'd hope to see out of him, as we know he can score the ball, with that aspect only growing the more touches he gets. He can get his boards with his size, his IQ just continues to rise, setting up his teammates, and his defense, already respected by other stars around the league, just keeps on impressing me. As this team has been ramping up for the final stretch of the season in hopes of trying to land the highest seed possible before the playoffs, the other Raptors on this team are getting hot at just the right time. Gary Trent Jr., days after tying his season high with 42 points that inevitably led the Raptors to the crucial win against Devin Booker and the Suns, started off this game slow but then picked things up in the second half, going to the line a career high 13 times. He finished the game with 28, 5, and 3 after starting 1 for 7 from the field, and it has continued to be the norm that when Trent Jr. plays well, so do the Raptors, and they usually pull off wins when he's able to light other teams up. LeBron was frustrated all game in this one, where he even showed his frustrations multiple times with the unnecessary amount of velocity he threw at Scottie, some aggressive ball bounces after whistles, and so on, with some added cussing towards his teammates. And obviously this has to do with some of the recent struggles the Lakers have had, but it also could have been the fact that the Lakers could do absolutely nothing about the length and size of the Raptors. They especially had no answer for Siakam, as his his dominance against LeBron and the Lakers dates back a few trips now, and in his last visit to the Staples Center, he put up 39 points. This one was no different for him, as he got whatever he wanted down low without the Lakers even attempting to make things hard for him, and he capped off the night with 27, 11, and 5, shooting 52.9% from the field and 66% from 3, and was a game high plus 25 on the night. Just like Scottie, he's been having a great start to the month of March, and the Raptors are going to need it to try to apply pressure to the rest of the Eastern Conference, as he's been able to average 24, 7, and 5 and over a block per game in his last 8 games. It was evident that VanVleet was not playing like he usually does on the court, trying to get back to 100% with his knee injury, as he just hasn't been as aggressive in either of his last 2 games against the Lakers and the Suns, putting up just 11 and 10 points in those games respectively. He played 40 minutes in this one, shot the ball horrendously, and you could just tell that it's completely affecting his game right now, forcing him to play uncharacteristic basketball compared to the All-Star we're used to, as he's getting some threes blocked by defenders and is allowing slower defenders like Wayne Ellington to stay in front of him, where usually Fred would be eating in that circumstance. He's still managed to grab 7 boards and set up his teammates with 7 dimes, and it has been great to see the other Raptors still playing well without him, picking up as many wins as they can without their leader, playing at his 100%. Precious had a solid game in this one as a starting center with a double-double and 2 blocks and 2 steals. Boucher just made this back-to-back amazing impacts off the bench, and Young did what he could coming into the game on the defensive side of the ball, racking up 9 rebounds while picking up 2 steals and a block. The Toronto Raptors had to play this one once again without the likes of OG Anunoby, and this is the team's main concern with the amount of minutes the starters are getting right now, trying to stay as healthy and as fresh as possible for the playoffs. The issue that this team has is that they're still in no way secure of having a playoff spot, especially since they're in a play-in position right now, and that is honestly the last place I think they want to be in, and this is preventing them from having any chance of resting players. And as you could tell from the last 2 games, VanVleet playing as much as he did while he clearly is still trying to get back to his regular form is not a good sign for this team. They don't have the depth to rely on their bench to help them win games, and this has been the glaring hole for this team all year, and we all know just how good this team can be, and their starting lineup in particular, with multiple stretches of this team pulling off incredible wins this season with that main core. It just won't mean anything if you can't get that main core of 5 guys healthy together for the playoffs, because that's when teams will start to take advantage of this undermanned roster. The extreme positive for this team, however, is that they're winning right now, and Siakam, Trent Jr., and Barnes are all playing at an extremely high level for this team to perform at a high enough level to even potentially get out of this play-in spot. Hopefully things start to brighten up for the Raptors down the stretch, and they figure out ways to get this team as healthy as possible for the playoffs, as I can say it with my chest that this team at full strength can cause serious problems against any team in the East. We have seen it all year with a full lineup, and honestly, the main reason our record is the way it is and we're in a play-in position is the fact that we've had multiple guys out for long stretches throughout the year, which has made things very difficult for this team to succeed. Their upcoming schedule is not favorable for this team for them to take it easy, as they have upcoming games against playoff teams in the Clippers, 76ers, Bulls, Cavs, and so on. But if they do come out of this stretch with a positive record, all things will look good for this team in terms of a playoff spot, and definitely watch out for that game against the Cavs, as it's going to have serious implications for this team in terms of seeding. The final stretch of the season is finally here, and this is going to be the time that makes or breaks the Raptors season. Let me know down below in the comments what seed you think the Raptors are going to finish with this season. As always, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button to help this video get shared along YouTube's algorithm, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more NBA videos like this one that I will be posting multiple times per week. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great night.